PS5 Pro is confirmed. The 7600X3D is not a US exclusive, and the RTX 50 series is ready right now. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, September 6th, 2024. We're going to start off today talking about the launch of a fantastic game known as Astro Bot. I've been thoroughly looking forward to this game ever since I heard that it was coming out. It's basically a full version of the technical demo that ships with every single PS5, and it came out to rave reviews, having a 94 score over on Metacritic, just absolutely hitting the scores out of the park. But I started off saying that the PS5 Pro is confirmed, and that's essentially because Sony posted pictures of a 30th anniversary that they wanted to have for the PlayStation, and what they're showing is the leaked image that we've already seen of the PS5 Pro with the Wolverine stripes right down the side of it, essentially confirming that that might be the design moving forward. And there's supposed to allegedly be an announcement for the PS5 Pro coming out next week, but this image actually physically appearing in Sony's official imagery. So I'm probably not gonna play Astro Bot today because I still need to finish Wukong, but I'm gonna be enjoying it at some point in the near future because I'm looking forward to it. And if you're looking forward to playing, I don't know, something like God of War Ragnarok or any other PlayStation title on PC, you should check out today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Lenovo Legion and their huge Intel Gamer Days savings. In addition to the already reduced prices, you can get an additional 10% off all Intel-powered Lenovo Legion gaming PCs with code GAMERDAYS24. You may remember that we recently showcased a variety of Lenovo Legion's gaming towers. Well, now for all you gamers on the go, we are going to show you your next laptop upgrade. Something every PC gamer likes is customization, so Lenovo lets you outfit the Legion Pro 5i 16-inch Intel laptop with either an RTX 4060 or 4070. Powered by a 14th gen Intel i7 14650HX and paired with your choice of GPU, this is a great step up in laptop gaming, with great savings of 7% off, plus that extra 10% with code GAMERDAYS24. Ramping up a bit to a super high-end gaming laptop, you'll find the Legion Pro 7i 16-inch plowing through games with its insane combo of an i9 14900HX and an RTX 4090. The only thing more impressive than this laptop specs is the 13% off during Intel Gamer Days. And again, any deal you see from August 22nd to September 15th from Lenovo Legion on their Intel-powered PCs is made even sweeter with an additional 10% off when you use code GAMERDAYS24. Let Lenovo keep your gaming mobile and your frames high when you check out their laptops via the links in the video description. Huge thanks to Lenovo Legion for sponsoring today's video. Well, you could also use one of those Lenovo Legion products to play Balatro. This is the game that I spent most of my flight from the United States to Taiwan just playing it on my gaming handheld. I played it for probably 10 hours straight. You could ask Kyler. I just sat there and played this game, and now it's officially coming to mobile on September 26th. It's a fun little poker game that you can play. It's got enough quirkiness to keep it interesting. It had enough diversity to make it so that I didn't feel like I was playing the same game over and over for those 10 hours on the flight. It was very, very enjoyable. And in case you want to enjoy a 7600X3D and you don't live in the United States, well, then you probably have to live in Germany, because that's the other country in the world that is getting the Ryzen 5 X3D chip. It's a Mind Factory exclusive, but unlike the 5600 X3D is launching in another part of the world in case you wanted to get your hands on that. And the Nintendo Switch 2 allegedly is going to be launching March of 2025. Reports are coming out that one of the assemblers for Nintendo's consoles has been experiencing a huge upboost in its production right now, and there's reports that there might be an announcement for it sometime this month, kind of coinciding with the PS5 Pro announcement, and then a March 2025 release date for the Switch 2. And I'm gonna switch to Reece. That was good.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys had a good week, and I hope you guys have a good weekend ahead, because I've got some deals to get you started. Because first up, we have this EPOMaker TH80X 75% gasket mount hot swappable mechanical keyboard for only $49.99, making it $50 or 50% off. But then next, we have this Be Quiet Shadow-based 800DX mid-tower case, available for only $79.90, making it $110 off. And then lastly, the still fairly new Elgato Stream Deck Neo is available in white for only $89 $84.99, making it $15 off. And hey, without the deals are done, you can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, we talked about in yesterday's episode of Hot News that Intel kind of has a bad deal going on when it comes to their 18A process node. There was reports that Broadcom got their hands on some of the production samples and they're not satisfied with the production that Intel has. But now it came out at IFA when people were asking about Arrow Lake that Intel's not even gonna make 20A stuff. This was something that Arrow Lake was supposed to be made on, and they're just not doing it. Arrow Lake is instead gonna be made by TSMC, and Intel's 20A process node is dead. They're not going to be moving forward with it. Now, this is not as huge of a blow to Intel when it comes to what their IFS or foundry should be able to do. 18A is really where they've bet a lot of the company on. 20A was just kind of be a nice stopgap generation until they got to 18A. But just like with Lunar Lake, the fact that Intel is using TSMC to make their chips instead of using their own processes, number one, shows a lot of change at Intel when it comes to their decision making and leadership, because back when the 10 nanometer saga was going down, they just stayed on their own processes. They never sent a CPU over to TSMC. They just kept losing to AMD and Ryzen because they decided that they had to make their own processes work. So there's been some shifting in that thought experiment, obviously probably because AMD is doing so well, but it's showing that Intel is willing to make some sacrifices on what's perfect in order to achieve something at least good right now. So we can hope that 18A works out, hope that whatever succeeds Arrow Lake is going to be done well. 18A is going to be something that helps Intel out a lot, because I think one of the comments that happened in a more recent episode of Hot News was that while it's good that Intel is learning some lessons right now, what would be worse for the consumer is an AMD monopoly. That's not something we necessarily want to see, because they will treat you as badly as Intel has, because they are driven by the same exact motives. But just like we're providing an update on the Intel story from yesterday, there's an update to the Nvidia story from yesterday. There was a report coming out from Bloomberg that Nvidia was subpoenaed by the Department of Justice here in the United States, to which now Nvidia has come out and said that that did not happen. Nvidia has said that they've been in communication with the Department of Justice, but not an actual subpoena has been issued, and that they are willing to talk to the authorities about whatever they want to know. So that's just a mild correction from yesterday. It was a well-known source that was actually saying that the subpoena had been issued, but now it appears that Nvidia is denying that that's happened. It could still be that they got a subpoena, or it could be that Nvidia is telling the truth here. But while the US government might want to know certain details from Team Green, I know consumers want to know, when are we getting new GPUs? And reports are that the RTX 50 series could launch in September, depending on how you choose to want to read one of these rumors. The 5080 and 5090 are reportedly ready to go sometime soon, and that includes the D versions of them for China as well. According to one translation of this bench life post, saying that the 5090 and 5080 with the Blackwell GPU architecture are scheduled to officially launch in September. And if their sources are correct, more information will be available soon online for reference. And we're getting reports that the 5090 will be 550 watts, not 600 watts, and that the 5080 will be 350 watts, not the 400, I believe it was earlier reported. But according to a different translation of that bench life post, is that these 50 series cards are scheduled to finalize their design in September, and that we likely will get more information and more rumors and testing and benchmarks that are coming out. I'm more inclined to believe the secondary translation, that the design's about to be finished, which would still put us on track for that early 2025 launch window, and would mean that over this next coming holiday season, we'll start seeing benchmarks, people testing it getting leaked online, all of those kinds of things happening. But the 5090 and the 5080 have gone through various different TDP rumors. As we've mentioned, 500 watts was what Seasonic leaked the 5090 at. We talked about another rumor recently that put it at 600 watts. Now this latest one puts it at 550. And then for the 5080, it was 350 initially, 400 for the one that came out recently, and then now back down to 350. We'll obviously just have to wait and see when Nvidia officially tells us how everything actually is. And I want to read how you said everything actually is in the comments yesterday over on Floatplane Kryptonite, saying, yeah, Brett, tell us a news story about how Nvidia treats reviewers that don't give glowing reviews about their products. I have never been subject to that. Our relationship with Nvidia has been weird and complicated, partially because of my time in South Africa. And then since I have had a contact at Nvidia, they haven't launched anything besides the 4080 Super, and they sent that to us, and we put that in Kyler's PC build. You can check out his Tower 300 video right up there to find out more about it. So I personally don't have a whole lot of experience with that, but other channels like Hardware Unboxed do. And then over on YouTube, mostly harmless, saying, I need AI on my handheld, so I don't even have to play my games anymore. It's like watching a streamer without the entertainment. The game's the entertainment. You get your little handheld to play it for you. And then Rio saying, the reason I dislike Intel is that they have more employees than TSMC, Nvidia, AMD combined, and yet are losing to all three of them in their fields. Yeah? You don't like losers? Is that what you're saying? You don't like the fact that they have more employees and they're not doing as good of a job? I tend to dislike companies when they don't do good things to the consumer, not by the headcount and revenue that they have. Like if Intel was still profitable and had the same headcount and like made good decisions for the consumer but made less money, I would be okay with that. That'd be fine with me. Then Says Sim Racing, pointing out, yesterday, Intel's back. Today, Intel just got worse. Tech news can change so quickly. I mean, it's partially, yes, tech news changes, but it's that there's nuance, right? Like, Intel's back, that was about Lunar Lake production. That was about the mobile processor that they're gonna be launching. Yesterday's episode had nothing to do with Lunar Lake and instead had to do with the future and their production that's going on their foundry side of things. So it's two different sectors for the same company, and it's nuanced. That's why it can change. Like, did anything really change about Lunar Lake? Actually, benchmarks came out, battery life benchmarks, preliminary ones. Intel's crushing it. I saw that the Lunar Lake chip beat the MacBook Air in the one test that I saw. That's incredible. Like that was a furthering of Intel's back in terms of their mobile processor. So tech news does change, but also like there are varying components that make it so it's a complicated stew of, you know, you got to pick out the right ingredients to know which part's bad in the whole soup. And then Old Time Benchmarks, given his RMA experience on his 13th gen chip, saying, I waited 3.5 weeks for my 13900K to be replaced, and the retailer said probably next week they're going to get my new chip. So 4.5 weeks total, with them saying that they're getting a brand new 14900K, which I'm glad it's getting resolved. 4.5 weeks seems very long. And then we got the Lexi Kitty, the only person to acknowledge my bee movie joke yesterday, saying, bees, what are you doing? Come on. I don't slip jokes into the little intro very often, but the one time I do, it goes unnoticed. I'm not gonna do it again anytime soon, and I'm not doing hot news again until Monday. We'll see you back here for more of the hottest tech news then.